Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So they're back with a Draven supplementary guide. Now of course I do still think that the previous Draven updated complete guide, that's still the better build for Draven in my opinion. I think probably skipping DUSKBLADE and going for Conqueror is probably going to be better than KRAKEN Slayer and DUSKBLADE. But we're going to cover, of course, going for DUSKBLADE, which is basically the strongest AD first item you have in the entire game in terms of pure damage. And of course we have the recently buffed KRAKEN Slayer, which of course does now give more true damage as well as more scaling on true damage, which of course you have a lot of AD from all your items, so we're gonna of course benefit a lot from that. But honestly, the KRAKEN Slayer damage is not very significant, and the main reason for that is Draven's auto attacks already do so much damage, so you're generally gonna kill people in like 3 auto attacks anyway, whether or not you have KRAKEN Slayer in the later game. It's more so for the early game. But let's jump into the loadout first. So first up we got DUSKBLADE, of course. 55 AD, 10 ability haste, a whopping 18 armor penetration, as well as the bonus damage on your auto attack to get it for slight slow, and of course refreshing on takedown. So this of course very strong early game item. You want to rush this before your boots because you want to get that completed item as quickly as possible, and when you hit this you have a huge item spike. It's gonna be even better if you already get like 1 or 2 kills before this, and you can just snowball, you know, the game, you know, out of control. Then of course you have your Gluttonous Greaves for the Omnivamp together with the AD. Obviously next up you go for your Bloodthirster with which gives you of course the huge amount of AD physical vamp as well as the bonus stats when you're high on health. We of course have the IE for the bonus damage as well as the extra crit. Then we have Maul Reminder for the armor pen and grievous wounds. And finally we have Shield Bow, of course good stats but mostly for the shielding capabilities. Now Shield Bow is a little bit of a contentious one because technically speaking you could go for Shield Bow, you know, right, you could go for Shield Bow like here for example. You could also go for Shield Bow like here for example. So I would say it's really matchup dependent. I think most matchups this is going to be the best build, and getting Shield Bow last only when you reach full build for the safety is good. But if you're in like a situation where, you know, you're very fed, you generally want to continue on to get more fed and you know, get IE and such. But on the other hand, if you are very fed and there is multiple enemy assassins, then Shield Bow actually could be better because you want to protect your shutdown, you want to protect yourself, and you want to stay on the map and not simply be dead to them, right? So getting Shield Bow early might be a better option. Oops, we don't want to go to the practice tool. So yeah, so Shield Bow can kind of be moved around depending on the state of the match and, you know, yourself. So as I mentioned, KRAKEN Slayer is mostly for the early game. Like in the early game, the KRAKEN Slayer damage is going to add quite a bit to your just general auto attack damage. But at the end of the day, I still feel like Conqueror and Lethal Tempo are going to be better for one reason or another. I think KRAKEN Slayer doesn't really do much for you in the late game. It focuses a lot on the early game, which of course, you know, focusing on early game, it is kind of good because Draven, you know, is that kind of champion that wants to snowball in the early game, which is why I think KRAKEN Slayer is really good for him. But at the same time, it's kind of basically means you have no rune in the late game because you're barely gonna proc your KRAKEN Slayer at all, unless you're in a huge team fight where you can, you know, attack one target, you know, 2 times, kill them, and then attack a 3rd time onto a 2nd target. So that could be a thing as well. Of course, Brutal, because you're going to auto-attack a lot as an ADC. But again, strangely enough, Brutal is a lot weaker on Draven because, again, you attack a lot less since one attack does a lot more damage. Then over here, it kind of depends on the situation. So Last Stand is a generally good option because you're going to heavy trade a lot in lane and just in general. So Last Stand is going to help you a lot by, of course, letting you deal more damage when you're low and possibly get the kill before they can kill you. Of course, your other option is going to be Giant Slayer, which is of course going to be good against tanky teams. But I generally like to take Last Stand for the lane especially. And then we have Alacrity for the attack speed because we don't really have any attack speed in our build. So we kind of need a little bit of attack speed here. And Bone Plating, of course, for the blocking the enemy combo damage as well as in lane is really strong. And then we go for Flash, and I go for Exhaust like 90% of the time because Draven, of course, you want to be able to 1v1 a champion. You don't want to be in a situation where you're 1v1ing a champion or you're in lane just fighting the enemy champion. You get exhausted and you don't have exhaust, means they're gonna outdamage you and you might die, so that's obviously not optimal. But yeah, with all that said, let's move on to talking about our gameplay. Okay, so now hopping into the gameplay. Alright, you guys know I'm not really the best Draven around. Also, our team has like 4 control wards. Or Lux actually solved the normal ward, but yeah, I'm not really the best Draven around, so it's not gonna be the best like Draven gameplay you're gonna see, but you know, it's pretty decent, I guess. I play Draven a decent amount, especially like I've been playing him since his release actually. So enemy team is kind of strange on this one. So the Varus and the Morgana are actually playing pretty aggressively, and it's not always wrong to do that against a Draven, believe it or not. If you're playing certain champions like say Ashe or Caitlyn, you can actually play aggressive against the Draven. Although I would say Morgana and Varus probably not really the best. So here I popped the Varus's bone plating. So here Morgana also doesn't have bone plating. So if we can get a good trade, we should be able to win. So here we get 1 auto attack on Varus, 2 on Morgana. We want to proc KRAKEN. I'm going to flash for the auto attack, and I don't know if I got exhausted before that last auto attack hit. If I did, then that would have actually killed if I wasn't exhausted. But if I didn't, then I just kind of miscalculated my damage. Of course, I'm not too familiar with Kraken Slayer damage, so I'm not quite sure how much extra damage Kraken Slayer is going to give me. I believe it's actually 30 at level 1, but yeah, I'm not sure if that would have actually helped me get the kill or not. Either way, it's a lot of fighting in the early levels. It's not even the early levels, it's kind of like literally level 1. So all the sums are gone on their side except for Varus Flash, whereas we have Exhaust and Flash. Here you can see 3 auto attacks on Morgana, and she's from full health instantly to back to nearly dead. So here I was trying to bait her forward so that Lux can get a binding, but Lux kind of just tosses the binding and they don't really get baited anyways. And here is kind of the problem when you're fighting a Varus. So if Varus actually does not troll like what he did just now, and he actually just pokes you down, you're actually going to take quite a bit of damage, and you can't really play the lane against him. So this lane is actually really hard for Draven, because if Morgana and Varus play properly, they're going to just drop Morgana W's on you, drop Varus E's as well as some Varus Q's on you, and you won't have a chance to all-in them unless they misstep and they get hit by a Lux Binding or something like that. So this lane's actually not really very easy. Like Draven lanes pretty much are determined by whether or not you can you're able to auto-attack them, or whether or not they decide to step up. Most of the time, if they don't step up and they're stuck on the tower, there's not a lot that you can really do. Of course, you can try to harass them on the tower a little bit, but they're not really gonna die, and you're just putting yourself at risk of dying to a gank. So really, Draven does have some amazing lanes that he can play against, like especially against like certain enchanters who do nothing, like the old Sona before the rework, that sort of deal, and like some ADCs like are weak early, like Vayne and such. So here Varus gets level 5 off of the kill and is able to actually ult me. I run into a Morgana root because I was trying to pick up my axe, but Lux hits an amazing 2-man root, and here both are really low. I managed to actually kill Morgana before dying to the Echo, which of course dying is not optimal, but the fact we got our cash in before we died means that the situation is not too bad, because we are able to get the cash out and of course get the gold. And Vex is able to clean up the 2 kills. So Varus, out of all people, actually escapes with 1 HP. Of course we could not have killed him there because he did have the Barra and he popped the Barra, so we focused Morgana instead because she is the easier person to kill because she doesn't have the barrier, so we are able to kill her, and we are able to come back to lane after that. So here we're just gonna be grabbing some minions. Varus actually has not yet backed, so he'll basically only has boots, so not really too many items yet. If he makes a mistake, it's very fightable. I'm trying to go forward to get an auto attack. I get an auto attack. I actually thought that Lux root hit, which is why I ulted, but turns out the Lux root did not actually hit, so I kind of wasted my ult there because I don't think I would have killed him if both parts hit. He did dodge the second part, but I think I needed one more auto, which is why I thought the Lux would hit. So I was just going to ult him and then auto him once, but since it didn't actually hit, I ended up pretty much just wasting my ult there. Here again, I'm trying to bait Morgana to step up, but Lux tries to predict her stepping forward, but unfortunately, Morgana actually stops to toss a root at me instead, and because of that, Lux misses the binding. So again, there's not much we can really do here. We're just farming minions like a typical ADC. Of course, aside from being a typical ADC, you do want to, of course, just play a little bit more aggressively because you are a Draven. But aside from that, you pretty much function the same as a normal ADC. Now, speaking of which, we're able to basically just auto attack down the Morgana, and we do end up dying to Varus after that. So in the end, we traded 2 for 1, which again is not very ideal, but again, we did get the cash in before we died. So because of that, it's not too bad because we did get the cash in, and also Varus gets shut down by Lee Sin, and Lee Sin himself is actually getting very fed. He's 6 and 1. at this point in time. So he is, you know, doing really well as well. And honestly, I'm not been doing too well as a Draven in the early game, because the fact that Varus has the same goal as me and Lee Sin has like more than 1k goal more than me means I haven't been getting enough kills, I haven't been getting enough cash-ins, but you know, it is what it is. And here we're just gonna work together with our team to focus down the dragon. Rengar decides to want to hop in and he dies to my ulti. I get the cash out of 100 extra gold, which is of course amazing. And here of course we don't really have the movement speed to reach Morgana. Varus has been pushing in the wave in the meantime, so we're just gonna have to catch the wave here. Unfortunately, Varus does get an ult onto Lux and pretty much gets a free kill. I ran into a lot of poke. You guys can see when you take the poke, you're gonna be taking a lot of damage, which is a very you know, suboptimal. So here we are going to actually back, because we started off with DUSKBLADE as first item. We don't have like the Bloodthirster healing, so which means that when we get poked out, the poke is kind of more permanent. Now we've completed the Gluttonous Grease, which is gonna give us some semblance of healing, not too much, but you know, it's better than nothing. And now we're trying to hit back to lane as fast as we can to try to stop them from getting this tower. Teemo is using Herald to get first tower, so we just need to stop them minimally from getting first tower, and then hopefully just stop them from getting the tower altogether. So we did get first tower, so at least there is that. And they are not pushing too hard for the tower, so it's fine. Lee Sin is really deep behind enemy lines. Looks like he's trying to make a play. We're trying to ping him off because we are not really in a position where we can follow. Lux actually hits a binding, but we don't know who else is there, so we don't want to really walk into their jungle to try to follow up. So instead, what we're going to do is we're going to clear the minion wave and see if we can do anything about it. She has a really nice route which allows me to get off an ult onto both of them. Here Varus shield bow pops and they're both at 1 HP. I'm going to actually just flash over, kill the Morgana, kill the Varus, and move on to the Rengar and kill the Rengar as well. Now of course, alright, before we cover that, here in comes the Echo. I tried to exhaust him and run away, but really there's very little I could really do there. But as I was trying to say, getting like double, triple kills on Draven is great, of course, because you do get a lot of gold from getting double and triple kill, but you don't get to really prop your passive and cash out, aside from the first kill, because the second and third kill you don't really have any stacks to even cash out in the first place. But either way, of course, no one's going to complain when you get multiple kills. So 3 quick kills there now puts me finally on par with Lee Sin as the person with the most gold in the game. And we are, of course, here building towards our Bloodthirster. We have all the components, we just need to put them together to complete the Bloodthirster. And now we're headed to mid because the enemy bot lane is at mid. Meanwhile, Lee Sin and Lux are pushing top, possibly going to get the tower. Now here Teemo and Lee Sin are collapsing both ways, so I'm just kind of sticking around to see if anything can be done. Here I'm going to go for the Varus. I managed to get an auto ult into Varus, and I kill Morgana when she comes out of her stasis, which does of course allow me to pick up 2 more kills here, which is amazing. And Rengar goes into our jungle for some reason and just basically lets me get another kill. I don't know why he decided to jump on Lux. Maybe he was trying to one-shot her, but clearly that was not very successful. So here we can finally finish off the tower and recall. Now we're 9-3-1 with 9k gold in the game, far and away the most gold in the game. This is where we want to continue our snowball and start to take over the game. So here we have Bloodthirster, and we're actually going to go for a very early QSS. And the reason is, Varus is actually really fed, so if he ults us, you know, we could possibly die. We get hit by a binding, you know, so much follow-up can come in from the enemy team, be it a Kai'Sa ult, a Varus ult, or whatnot. So we want to get the QSS as an extra level of safety to allow us to, of course, cleanse out of the CC and just run away. So here, we know that Echo and Varus are around the area, so we want to be a little bit cautious when we're just stepping up to CS. But our Lee Sin and Teemo are once again kind of coming. Really nice flash into a Q by the Lux, and here we instantly just finish him off. And here we finish the Morgana off as well. The Rengar's biting off a lot more he can chew, and so he's gonna run away as well. And we're gonna finish off this tower here. So the match is going swimmingly for us after a really bumpy start. Of course, we started the game off like I think 2-2 or 3-3. And we are able to now just get triple kill, and double kill, which is absolutely amazing. And now we're going to go for the next dragon as well. Kai'Sa, for some reason, tries to contest the dragon, even though she is alone and her jungler is not there, and gives Vex a free kill into the pocket of the Vex. And Vex is actually getting pretty fed as well. Now, I say that because in terms of KDA, she's 4-1 and 4. In terms of gold, though, she's not really doing all that good, because the majority of the enemy team are kind of in the same ballpark as that. And Vex also decided to start Death Cap for his item, which is going to give her very little stats for the amount of gold she spent on it at this point in the game. So kind of a little bit of a questionable choice to build Death Cap for his item. I don't think it's ever good as a first item anymore on anybody. But anyways, now we're just gonna clear the wave, and we're just gonna continue to farm. So we're just gonna farm the Krugs here in our downtime, since nothing much is happening. And by doing this, we also get more axe catches, which of course increases our cash in amount when we finally get a kill as well. And now there's not much to do because there isn't really any objectives, and I don't know why Lee Sin's going all the way into the enemy jungle to make a play. Like, this is kind of the thing, right, about like the Lee Sin. Like, he was really fed, but he keeps making kind of really weird, like, in my opinion, pretty stupid plays. Like, why are you going in by yourself in the enemy jungle? Anyways, I try to flash forward to get the kill onto the Varus, but Varus is able to escape. Rengar gets a double kill, but just look at how much damage we do here. We accidentally attack the minion, but 1, 2, 3. That was through the Rengar healing as well. We are able to easily get rid of the Rengar. So here at this point, pretty much no champion can 1v1 us. Kai'Sa hits a W, we don't have to be scared of her at all. If she ults in on us, she just dies immediately. Unfortunately for us, she is able to actually clear the wave, which basically means we can't push down this tower anymore, especially with the enemy respawns coming through. So instead, we're just going to recall, and we are just going to grab ourselves some items. So we complete the IE, and we're going to build towards more reminder here. Honestly, the enemy team isn't really tanky at all. The anti-heal section was pretty good. I was actually thinking of going straight for the shield bow after the anti-heal section, but I ended up just autopiloting to complete the Maul Reminder, which is not really bad as well, because of course enemy teams have their base armor, so it is still going to increase your damage by a significant amount. Just that probably this match is not really the best item to put in that slot. So here the Lee Sin once again is going to the enemy jungle. Vex goes in onto the Varus and gets the kill onto him before I can reach there. So here I'm just going to farm the minions, and here Vex goes in for the Rengar. I thought she got it, so I'm going to run down the Kai'Sa instead. So here 1, 2, 3 auto attacks and she's dead. That's kind of why I say Kraken Slayer is not very useful, because on one target, 3 auto attacks is more than enough to kill them, and your Kraken Slayer proc is not really going to matter. Anyways, Rengar turns out to be the one killing the Vex instead, so now it's just me and Teemo left. Teemo's of course on the opposite side of the map at the moment. Honestly here, I'm just trying to deny enemies some farm, and Morgana is honestly really bold by like trying to do anything about it, because I can easily run her down, and I actually have my QSS, so I can literally run at her, QSS her route and just run her down, which I don't really want to do because her team has respawned already, but I could easily have done this just now. Just that I want to save my QSS for a more defensive use, because I don't think killing the Morgana is very valuable. She's 0 and 10 at this point, so if I kill her, the amount of gold I get is really not going to be worth my QSS cooldown. Not all kills are equal. Of course, if I do that like against like I don't know, maybe the Echo or whatnot, that would be worth it. But anyways, here we're able to snipe down the Varus and go legendary using our ulti. Echo tries to think about going in with his W, and unfortunately for me, Rengar pops out of nowhere and gets a kill onto me, getting my huge shutdown. And of course, probably the most dangerous champion to us in the game is probably going to be Rengar, because he can just pretty much jump on us and just one-shot us. Whereas with other people now, like for example the Varus or the Morgana, we can just QSS whatever CC they toss at us. Echo is probably the second biggest threat after Rengar, because he does something really like similar to Rengar, but he hasn't really been targeting us too much at this point, whereas Rengar kind of has. So I'm a lot more scared of the Rengar at this point in time. So now the third dragon is up, and my team is on track to picking up dragons. So I've just respawned. I realized that my team doesn't need my help at all, so no reason to waste time and walk there. Instead, I'm just going to walk straight over to the red buff and just claim this red buff for myself. And now, of course, my team is just coming off a reset, so I don't want to play too aggressively. Lee Sin once again is in really deep and once again dies. Honestly, the game would be so much easier if Lee Sin just cooperated with the team and not just hop in like 1v3 all the time. It's kind of annoying, but yeah. So here I'm just hovering in the general area in case a fight breaks out. Vex ends up actually going in here. I'm trying to get an ult off across multiple people. And I'm gonna have to backstep to dodge that Morgana out. I'm trying to kill the Rengar, but Rengar with the healing is actually able to save himself. I'm gonna out flash over and finish off the kill on the Kai'Sa. And here, honestly, I did not see the echo here, which is the main reason why I did not QSS, because I was thinking Rengar's running away because he's 1 HP, the Morgana can't kill me, so there's no reason to waste my QSS cooldown here. But I was really greedy with it. I should have just popped it and just ran away instead of just staying there rooted and letting the echo kill me. So that was certainly a mistake made by me there, to not use my QSS and be really greedy with the QSS cooldown. That's definitely not what we're looking for. But anyway, regardless, the fight turns out pretty much okay. It's an even kind of trade, which of course benefits the enemy team more than us because we are fairly ahead of them and we don't really want even trades. Now, Baron is up. Teemo grabs the Skull Crab to secure the vision of the area. And he and Lee Sin are now just kind of around that blue buff Baron area. Perhaps just trying to cause trouble for the enemy team, or perhaps even find a pick and then go for Baron after that. So here I'm just securing mid lane priority in case we want to do Baron. Having mid lane pushing is always going to be a good thing. So both Elder Dragon as well as Baron are going to come out soon. And Elder Dragon actually not that soon, but here we're going to just do the Baron. Because we're ahead enough at this point, like the enemy team can't really stop us from doing Baron. And if they do, they're going to have to run into us and they're probably just going to die. So in the end, me and Lee Sin finish off the Baron. And in the meantime, my team finds a pick onto Morgana. Rengar, has his eyes on me, tries to assassinate me, but at this point, I two-shot him now. So he can't really kill me. Here I use my QSS to prevent myself from getting stunned. And here, Kai'Sa tries to kill me, but somehow I managed to just auto-attack her and she just instantly evaporates. So there she goes. And that should be the end of it. Whole enemy team is dead and we can just grab the easy victory. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual and goodbye.